Everybody, welcome to the Catch Up After College podcast. We may be post graduation, but we're never post education. Is a catch up Christmas episode, our first ever one. Should be awesome. And with me today are, I'd say, two of my top 50 roommates of all time,
Thanks
Kevin and Darrel, here with us today. What's happening?
for having us on. How's it
Yeah,
going?
Yeah, how's it feel to be in the top 50?
it's such an honor. So
Right.
blessed.
Yeah, okay, cool, nice. Well, you guys are also the first people to ever come on the show twice, so I think that's a bigger milestone. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think it'd be cool to talk about Christmas. We got to talk about it. What are your top three Christmas movies of all time?
Ooh, that's. Um, let's see. I have. You want to go first?
You should have prepared us for this question. All
Oh,
right. So I'm a sucker for like love stories and like those movies, which is you already know how the ending is. So it's kind of like I don't know, what's that Netflix one right now? Like a Cinderella story, Christmas edition, or something like that, or something where a girl travels and needs to find herself and ends up finding love somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Hallmark,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, a Hallmark movie, traditional Christmas love story,
Yeah.
So
Dang.
I don't have a top three, but I guess I have a genre that I like during the
Yeah.
holidays.
Dang. You and my dad would get along well. He's hooked to the Hallmark Channel like all Christmas time. But yeah,
Oh man, is that still a channel?
I think so. Yeah.
Is it? Oh man.
Yeah.
My favorite Christmas movie of all time. Um, Definitely Home Alone 2. Specifically Home Alone 2 because I don't know what it is about him being lost in New York and just like the pigeon lady that was just picturesque like peak Christmas for me. Um I'm also a sucker for like DComs, like Disney Channel original movies. I watched The Ultimate Christmas Present a lot growing up. Um and let's see. The Grinch. Like but not the Jim Carrey Grinch, like the actual like
Oh, the old one.
the animated Grinch with like the heart-shaped hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and little Cindy who it's yeah, I loved Grinch.
Yeah. As long as it's not the Benedict Cumberbatch one.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Live action Grinch is scary. That's more of a horror movie for me.
Yeah. But that's a bit of a debate right now, the Home Alone 1 and 2. Which one is better? What do you think, Darrel?
Honestly, I agree because number two has so much of that momentum and that memories of like caring for others. Don't judge a book by its cover. Um, yeah, I think I agree with Kevin with this. Number two is top notch.
Yeah. And he gets to go in a limo, gets a cheese pizza, like every kid's fantasy, basically, like gets a ton of desserts. But yeah, I can relate to that. That's pretty cool. And
I'm still very surprised how that family has enough money to even not max out after all of that.
yeah, for real. They were living in like a mansion though, like in
Okay, that's true.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how about top Christmas song of all time?
Oh, yo, I think it's Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. Don't make fun of me, but it's such a like. I guess it's a classic now. Um, Unfavorable opinion. I do not like the new Ariana Grande, Mariah Carey song.
Mm,
Not good at all, in my opinion. Besides the whistle tone, but I'll stick to Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande's Christmas album, Michael Bublé, all of them. But
mhm.
Mistletoe, one of the best.
Nice.
Underneath the Tree, Kelly Clarkson, literally anything from the Wrapped in Red album. Um, I love her Christmas album. I feel like it's something that people know that they've listened to, but it hasn't become like Mariah Carey cult classic yet. Um, and then I guess a very close second would be All I Want for Christmas Is You because it's a standard. It's like what you play on November 1st.
Mhm. Yeah.
But aside from that, that's really the only reason.
Nice. What was that Ariana Grande Mariah Carey song you're talking about? I never heard of it.
Don't waste your time. It's fine.
It just
Oh.
came out.
Oh.
It's okay. It's fine. It's very modern, and
Mhm.
like I feel like kids nowadays will grow up and be like, I remember that song. I think.
Okay, to be fair, I believe Christmas is more about, intimacy and that slow jam and
Mhm.
all that. This one is more like poppy and jumpy, and it's just not the Christmas I remember. Don't get me wrong, it might be like a really popular song. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's very Macy's Christmas Christmas Thanksgiving Day parade kind of music.
Yeah. It's an original song or?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like Ariana Grande,
Jennifer Hudson, and
and
Mariah Carey.
Yeah. Well, you got to give them props too, because it's always hard to come up with an original Christmas song instead of just making remakes,
Yeah.
That's
But,
true.
hey, at least they tried. But yeah, so I think I moved in with y'all. Well, when you guys were living in the Bay Area, was it like March or April or something?
Yeah, it was like at the start of the pandemic.
Correct.
Yeah. So I always thought it was funny because we only knew the COVID versions of ourselves. So what did you guys do pre-COVID? Were you more outgoing or like always out of the house or?
Well, I could start with that. Like before even moving up to the Bay Area, I'm like a night owl, but I'm also a workaholic. So in the sense, I used to work 4 to 12:30 at a coffee shop, go to school, then work again at another coffee shop from 4:30 to 12:30 a.m., then go home and then work again. Or if I don't go home in the middle of the night, I'll go out to like LA or something just to buy a donut or something. Like I just love midnight adventures, traveling, getting out. After moving to the Bay Area, I guess I was a little more like homebound, but whenever we get a chance, me and Kevin will go travel together. We've been to Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, wherever else we've been to, San Diego before we even met. So yeah, and then hopefully when the vaccine comes out, we could all go back to traveling and not go back to our regular normal self like we were before, but a more cautious self.
Yeah. Are you guys more flying or driving when doing road trips?
Flying. It depends. If we're staying in California, it's definitely driving. But if we're going anywhere out of state, it's flying.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though we did drive from Seattle to Vancouver, but
that was I think it was only 3 hours away, so it wasn't that bad. Also,
it was part of the experience.
It was part of the experience. If you are going to Seattle, drive to Vancouver. It's a lot better than flying to Vancouver, and it costs less.
Yeah. How was that? Was that your first time out of country, or you've been out of country before?
I've been out of country briefly. I went to the Philippines when I was in first grade. Was able to go for Christmas time, which is a totally different experience from America's Christmas. But was able to spend time with family there. So Philippines, I went on a cruise ship to Mexico, and then I guess Vancouver will be my third country, besides the U.S., of course.
Nice.
How about you?
I mean, I grew up in the Philippines for 4 years, so that wasn't. But aside from that, I mean, I also went on the cruise ship, but really didn't spend any time in Mexico. Pretty much on the boat the entire time. But it was really my first time out of. Oh, I also went to London.
Nice.
I forgot about that. But
you forgot about London?
I forgot about London. That one was a little bit of a blur. But Canada was definitely my first like adult traveling experience out of the country. It was really fun. It was my first time driving with a flurry of snow on my car.
Wow.
And it was also my first time being worried about travel insurance. And yeah, so I think that was pretty much it. But aside from that, it was great. Like the food was amazing. We had like food that we didn't really have here in the States. I don't know what it was, but there was like some kind of meat. I think was it like we went to an Australian it was like an Australian
Oh
based
yeah.
restaurant
And then
and
Kevin had kangaroo
had
meat.
kangaroo meat. It was really
Hey,
interesting.
nice.
It
What
was really good.
nice. I always like to describe it as beef with a kick, always gets a laugh,
Yes.
except for this time. But yeah. Very punny, but yeah. That's cool. All right. So, how does life look like now in these times? What do you think you're going to do for Christmas?
Uh, I'm staying here for Christmas this year. I was originally going to go back home and I was going to wait a little bit closer to Christmas to kind of find maybe a last minute flight or just drive up. But my mom works in a nursing home, so she actually called me up, I think earlier this week, and she said, "Hey, we're canceling Christmas this year." So that was a little hard to hear. I talked to my sister about canceling Thanksgiving and we broke the news to my parents. And it was just, it's interesting when you're on the other side of the coin, like when
Mhm.
you're on the receiving end, you're just like, oh, well, yeah, it does make sense, but dang. Okay, well, so yeah, I'll be here for the holidays this year. Daryl.
Yeah, traditions are gonna really change, especially after
Yeah.
this year. My family usually has a huge gathering at my house or my cousin's house with, I want to say, around 20 different families just getting together, doing like a little bit of family reunion. So that's like the whole family just getting together. This year, of course, it's not happening. Same thing with Thanksgiving, where it was the first time we weren't together as a whole cluster of like families together in one home, but this time separately, which is such a weird vibe. Every year, my cousins and their significant others always go on a cabin trip. We would
Nice.
always rent a place out in Big Bear. Of course, overeat, overdrink, no sleep. You know, the fun stuff
Mhm.
with cousins around your age. Of course, this year it's just not happening. We all agreed it's not safe. We're still doing the gift exchange, but even now we don't know how that's going to happen.
Mhm.
Because we always have a $50 plus limit on Secret Santa and a $20 plus limit on White Elephant. So for Secret Santa, we don't know how that's going to happen. And once separated, we're thinking we're just going to drop it off at the person's house and wait to be on Zoom. Don't know if that's going to even work out because everyone's going to be
Mhm.
too excited to open their gifts.
Yeah.
um, and for White Elephant, we don't know because everyone's so worried about being contagious or being exposed. I know some of my families were concerned about me and Kevin because, of course, unfortunately, we were unlucky to have COVID at one point of our lives. And even though we're 100% safe and not cured, but 100% like, what's the word?
We're mm,
Like,
Like, pretty much we don't have it.
contagious.
yeah, eight like we're like yeah, we're not contagious anymore. Like we had it back in August.
Yeah, so like my family's still worried about, if we could be asymptomatic and spread it soon without us knowing. Or so there's so much fear this year about just everyone's safety, but we understand like that's our top priority nowadays. So yes, Christmas is gonna be so different, and it's not just gonna affect this year, but also future years as well. Like we have to rethink about, do we want to rent a cabin trip from now on from, host on Airbnb? Is it going to be safe? Is it going to be sanitary? Um, is it even a safe idea for us to even hang out like for long periods of time? So it's just going to be different from now on, and it's just not going to be the same. But what will be the same is the fact that everything's still made out of love, and we all still love each other. We're all still going to be a family in the end of this, and we're all going to make it out strong no matter what.
Yeah.
Just gotta be
That's awesome.
creative.
True that. And you're talking about getting a cabin. Are you guys snow people? Or are you into that?
Uh, yes and no. Like I enjoy the snow. 5 minutes later, get me in the house with a heater.
Yeah.
I just always underpack. I
Hmm.
feel like I'm going into the snow and it's only going to be like 20 degrees. I forget to pack thermals. I only pack Adidas track pants, thinking that I will survive, and I don't. So I don't know what it is, but I'm not that much of a snow person. The last time I went snowboarding was probably like in early high school.
Mhm.
And that was not a fun experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or what was it fun about it?
Well, we went to Squaw Valley. It was me being dumb and in high school wanted to go down the main slope with all the people, with everyone else. My mom and all the non skiers, snowboarders kind of just like went down using the lift. We had one uncle with us, who I'd lost I think 3 times on my 30-minute descent down, and I'd gotten stuck for I think like 10 to 15 minutes, and nobody could see where I was because I fell, and I fell into like a patch of fresh powder, and I got stuck. I could not physically get up.
Whoa.
And I finally found my way out. But it was, after that, I was just like, okay, I guess I'm not snowboarding anymore.
Yeah.
At least not in the near future.
Yeah. Wow. How about you, Darrel? You have you been traumatized by the snow?
Not really. I always enjoy it. I always pack heavy in the snow. Yeah, I don't know. Just I think the only thing that was traumatizing is when I was younger. We were tubing, and our tube went past the tubing area and went to the line of people walking up the hill. So we kind of crashed into like 10 people going down at one
Whoa.
time. But that was so far back. Like I don't even count that anymore because that's like just a laughing matter now. It's just we just laugh about it now.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the audience listening, we're based in California, so that's why we're talking about snow this way. Not always around it, thank God. But yeah. So, what do you guys think about this whole like exodus to California? Like, it feels like so many people are moving out of state or just moving to different areas. But what do you think about all that going on?
Okay, let's start here. You guys who are taking all the U-Hauls, we hate you guys
Oh.
right now. Like, as you know, we were moving down from San Francisco, departing our ways with you and our other housemates to live a new life here in Southern California, to be closer to my family and new opportunities of work. Of course, the whole entire of California is leaving the state. So no more U-Hauls. It was hectic. Kevin had to drive an extra, I think, 100 miles just to get a U-Haul.
Jesus.
That didn't fit everything that we had. So this exodus is real. I kind of understand why it's happening. It's just too expensive. But like, you don't need to move. We'll find a way. Like, this pandemic is temporary, but building a future is like permanent. Like, you should think about where you want to be. I don't know where I'm going with this, but just forget all you guys who took all the U-Hauls.
I think it's a long time coming. As somebody from Northern California, like I've lived in NorCal, SFA area for over 20 years. It was a long time coming. I feel like a lot of people felt the same way, especially with like the tech boom. Just it's been really hard to be able to stay in San Francisco with the high rent, the high cost of living. I mean, yeah, everybody's really cool, and the people are just very different in the Bay Area, in which like they're very homey, I guess. But I also knew that you can find whatever you can find in the Bay Area, wherever you move to. And I think that's why a lot of people kind of just chose to move out of the state this year specifically. When COVID hit and offices said work remote, we're closed, everyone kind of just said, okay. And not only that, but like the interest rates are down everywhere. It was a lot easier to buy a house in 2020. And another thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people who used to live in like Northern California, Bay Area, are moving down to Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And people who already live in Southern California are the ones mostly moving out.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting. I'm not sure if that's probably any, if that's something that any of the listeners have kind of experienced as well. Like, curious to know what it's like in your part of California, or what, in whatever your state is. But like, that's definitely what I've seen lately. Like, a lot of my friends who are from the Bay, who are like tech heavy, like who just work from home nowadays, have moved to LA, Orange County, San Diego. So it's weird. And I don't know.
Yeah,
Will people come back to California? Who knows? Probably.
it still kind of makes sense though if you really think about it. As much as I hate it, that it makes sense, is because you guys are a lot of these tech people, like Kevin said, are working remote, and they're keeping the same cost of living pay as if they're living in San Francisco. So most of them who are getting those San Francisco rates are getting houses that are cheaper and could still do the same work elsewhere. So I know a lot of my friends who moved to Texas, which is a lot cheaper, but still keeping their San Francisco pay rate. So it's really good.
Wow.
Don't tell HR.
Yeah, cool. I got you. Awesome. So how's the Bay Area changed? Let's see. Kevin, you say you've been here most of your life, but Darrel, when did you move up, like for college or?
After post-college, so 2017, 2 months after graduating, I finally moved up. When I moved up, it was hectic, traffic everywhere, no parking could be found. Just people literally everywhere. I used to work in the heart of San Francisco, Union Square, where you can't even walk down the street because there's just too many people. The biggest change is now there's literally nobody there. And I'm able to get to, when I was working up in an office up in like the Embarcadero area. So it's like the not Fisherman Wharf. Was it
Like
Pier?
the ferry building.
The ferry building. One, like the bar will never be crowded now, so I'm not fighting nobody for a seat. Or the lines for food is just so easy. Like I'll actually get a full lunch instead of waiting 30 minutes for my food to be ready. So a lot has changed, and I think this is going to bring a lot of new businesses and a lot of new ways that old businesses are going to try to make profit or bring out their business.
Yeah. And Kevin, you said 20 years you've been here so that's like since 2000. Like how?
Since like 98. Actually.
Oh wow.
It's a little longer than that. I will say that, I mean, to be candid, I lived in a bubble pretty much my entire life. So I lived in a suburb, like off of Vallejo. So I don't really know much about city life until I moved to SF for undergrad, like in 2013. But even so, like in 7 years, it's just changed so much. It's crazy to think that when I moved to SF State, and I was able to get a 1-bedroom apartment, it was already kind of high. It was already like 1,800. And for those of you who are listening from San Francisco, yeah, that's kind of a gold mine right now. But it was already kind of like expensive back then because minimum wage was nothing. But it's changed for the better in terms of wages, but as wages went up, so did rent. So did pretty much everything else. Not only that, but there was just a lot more people entering the Bay Area. It wasn't as crowded when I was an undergrad. There was a lot of people. Yeah, it was kind of just how it was. But when I finally entered the workforce in 2016, you can definitely tell that as the years went on, there was an exponential number, like exponentially more people on whatever whatever highway you were on, whatever public transit system you were on, there were just more people, and I got really claustrophobic as time went by, and the divide between people who could afford things and people who couldn't afford things were a lot more. You could see it a lot more. Um, yeah, that was pretty much it. Like, there's also like neighborhoods that cleaned up, neighborhoods that were clean and are no longer clean. The typical changes that you see in the city, but I will say that who knows where San Francisco will be post Exodus, post pandemic. I'm pretty sure it's starting to be in a place where it can start leveling itself out a little bit. So hope there.
Nice. And you guys are back in SoCal now. Darrel, how's the new job?
Oh, well, just new location, same job as previous, a startup medical company, but the vibe is something that reminds me of home. They're just the people who I work with are really nice, they're generous, and I don't know. It's just I now moved from a San Francisco slash like San Bruno slash testing site to a in office um, opportunity admin role in Irvine, and I just love the atmosphere. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, nice. You're closer to Disneyland now. How does that feel for both of y'all?
Nothing we could do right
Yeah.
now. It's closed. So,
That's true.
and
Yeah.
then nothing to do with downtown Disney because the line just to get in, it's about hour to hour and a half just to get into downtown Disney, and you can't even really do much. So I think we're gonna avoid that until at least like we're no longer in the purple tier
Yeah, it makes
and
sense.
just wait it out. But besides that, it's great.
Nice. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's still kind of like really funny or strange to drive and to get to the freeway. We have to pass through Disneyland. So we are constantly seeing California Adventure and Pixar Pier and like the Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror ride like on like in the corner of our eyes, and I'm just like, I can't go there.
Mhm.
Also, if I couldn't afford to go there yet. So it's
Yeah.
just interesting. It's such an interesting time to be in because
Mhm.
it's there. We won't be going there, but
Yeah.
But when they do reopen Disneyland, you can know we're gonna get the annual
oh
pass.
yeah, it's over.
After work, we're gonna just like I'm just gonna be like, hey Kevin, I want a turkey leg, let's go. We'll just
Nice.
hop over to Disneyland, grab a turkey leg or whatever. Like, hey, I want to ride one ride. Let's do this.
Yeah.
That's dope. Because I hear you got the hookup, Darrel.
Ooh, just don't talk about that. Let's not get anyone
We
fired
gotta let the
here.
world know. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, that's cool. So, where do you guys see yourself in 2021? Like, let's say the vaccine has come, things are starting to get back to normal. Where do you guys see yourselves?
Before we even start with that topic, I want to go ahead and flip it on you then,
Mhm.
you and Kevin, and I can start with my answer first. When the vaccine does come out, would you get it? If so, what
Oh,
made you
dang.
decide that? If not,
Oh.
what made you decide that option? So why yes or no? And then for my answer, um, it just has to be based on science. I've been talking to my doctors about it. Of course, I work in the medical field, and other doctors are starting to understand more of how the vaccine works, how the process, how it's made, and they're having more and more faith in it. So, of course, I want to say yes, but then again, there's so many studies about people who weren't affected by COVID-19 on how it's working on them. I want to know what the side effects are if for people who were affected, if they get it, would it have an adverse effect or would it like stimulate something in our immune system or antibodies that would make the hit of COVID worse? So I want to say yes, but not right away
Mhm.
because I still want to know more clinical studies and read more clinical reports on it. And then I'll just go throw it off to Isaiah, and Isaiah could throw it off to Kevin after. So Isaiah, when it comes out, would you be first in line or would you wait on it?
Yeah, I'm definitely waiting, But yeah, I was thinking about asking you guys that. I didn't want it to be too heavy, but yeah, since you brought it up, yeah, it needs to be certain because doesn't it usually take like 2 years to come out with a vaccine, and they're thinking of like coming out with one. Like in the UK, there's already one, and that's like less than a year's worth of
Yeah.
time. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be the guinea pig. I'd rather just stick with the mask for now and yeah, just wait a while. But what about you, Kevin?
Well, I already got it, so honestly, I feel.
You
I
mean
already not the vaccine. I already had COVID, so like at this point, it's just, do I even need it? Like, because we don't even know how the antibodies will last, like how they work, how long they last. Like a lot of people say it'll probably be like a caution of 3 months. Some people have gotten, tested positive again later down the line, or gotten like reinfected and got sick at a completely different way. So we really don't know, but I think, I will say yes, but I think it'll probably be a kind of vaccine where it's similar to like the hepatitis vaccine, right? Where you have to get different dosages of it time after time. So like you can't just take the whole vaccine all in one go. And so hopefully we'll see. Hopefully Moderna and Pfizer are just, they're right in what they're doing. And I have no choice but to trust them at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
And then going back to your question, for 2021, I honestly just see myself buying more plants and just building like a hobby that makes you stay at home. Like, I think like we talked earlier, like pre pandemic, I was out there, I was traveling at midnight to grab a donut, hang out with my friends. Post, I'll be grabbing people's temperatures before they walk through our door. We'll just be having like maybe a cup of coffee in our backyard. Like, I'm still gonna be super precautious about everything that's going on, sanitations. Honestly, I may not do as much with social distancing if the CDC recommends that it's safe again. But there goes times where I'll just be like, "You're too close, back up." Like, and that's gonna be embedded in my brain now because this has been such a stressful year. I mean, everyone didn't know 2020 was gonna be like this. Like, but we all learned to configure ourselves and learn how to adjust to the new norm. And I think in 2021, I'm just gonna be at home buying more plants, annoying the hell out of Kevin because this office will be done with plants. Back to baking probably and stuff like that. So looking forward to a great 2021 and moving past the negatives of 2022, but living up the positive 2020 and living the positive of 2020, just like, the positive outcomes of certain political aspects and stuff like that. So Kevin?
Yeah, I don't really see much change. I mean, I have, I guess, a resolution, which is the generic resolution, which is to be healthier, eat healthier, lose weight, kind of that stuff. Hopefully I can get rid of my COVID-19, like the pound, like 19 pounds. Because I'm pretty sure we've all kind of had that that kind of weight gain from being hunkered down all the time. So like that's something I'm kind of excited to, really focus on in the next year. I don't know. Like I would love to travel more again. I'm pretty sure I will. Like even if it's somewhere kind of close, like either just a weekend trip to San Diego or a weekend trip to Palm Springs or, trip to Yosemite or something like that. Like I mean, I don't really see myself going out of the country again. Not that it matters because our passport doesn't really work anywhere, but I mean, when it does, you can see me on a plane. like catch me on a plane. I definitely want to travel again.
Nice.
Mhm.
And New Year's resolutions, any on your minds yet?
Well, aside from the weight loss kind of thing, I actually kind of want to start um, picking up a lot more like side projects. Like this year, I picked up on with the past couple of years, I've been picking up on kind of just like recording myself singing a lot more, kind of networking in that community. I joined two acapella groups. Like that was a lot of fun. But continuing that, but also picking up more like other different side projects. Like I have a couple of friends who are working on apps, or working on like creating a store. Like we have a housemate who has like his own store, like online store. So it's kind of cool. I kind of want to do something like that. Um, Also because it would be, financially cool to have a side gig like that. So that's me.
Nice.
Yeah, and for me, I just really wanted to get into my hobbies, like, and just really, I don't know, like get myself into it, like. For plants, I want to start going to like learning more about its natural habitats, the amount of sunlight, moistures, propagations. I want to get back into baking, and then hopefully like open my online store, learning from our housemate, um, and how to do that with permits slash health code regulations and whatever. And also get back into photography. Like if we travel, like, or if we even just go on hikes, I want to be able to bring out the camera again and enjoy that, because that's something I also really enjoyed back before COVID. So I want to bring that back and make that my resolution. It's like really get into my hobbies and start showing my passion around the house, and just get out of this funk I had been in the last couple months slash years. Like just get out of it and just enjoy life the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming on today. Thank you for the time you set out to do this. And always got to encourage you before you go. Just want to thank you guys for always being kind. And I feel like the kindness that you put out really puts people at ease, and it just builds strong relationships and friendships around you. And yeah, just keep doing the right thing. And, it's going to just make this world a better place, just treating people right. So thank you for y'all.
Of course.
Thanks,
And thank you
Isaiah.
for your time.
Yeah, it's all good. And of course, do you want to promote anything or anything out there right now?
Yes.
Well, just even though the pandemic has made us put a pause in our health, it's still super important to go in and get your annual physical done, just so you know of how to maintain your body and any health goals that you have, and also make sure you're up to date on your vaccinations. Um, I don't want to promote any company, but I just want to say, being in the medical field, it's just so important to take care of yourself. Health wise, go to the gym if you can. If not the gym, because it's closed.
Yeah.
I used to take a couple of walks around, or do what Isaiah does, and we'll see him in the sidewalk pumping up the guns and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
Jump
be
rope.
like that, or find some ways to be active. Don't let this pandemic stop you from living a healthy life.
Yeah.
Nice.
To really just to piggyback off of that, like don't put your health aside just because you're at home. Don't get lazy with the things that you typically do. Because I know I'm pretty sure we all have. I mean, we're at home, we pretty much do nothing, right? So yeah, just make some time for yourself. And really do make some time for yourself. I know that especially with it getting closer to the end of the year, it's getting a lot busier because you're having to cram a lot of a lot of work into a couple weeks before the holidays. But like, really still try to find time for yourself. I know that I will be trying to sneak in a 15-minute jog because my doctor told me to. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I hope you do the same.
Yeah, for sure. Heard you guys got squat racks, so
Yeah.
pretty cool. Nice. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, and I guess, have a good day. Rest of your Saturday, taking your time out. So yeah, I'll see you around.
Of course. You have a good day too, and hopefully you come visit us post-pandemic.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, you never know. Cool.
All right.
I'll break out the Korean pancakes again.
Hey, I'm always down for free food. But cool. All right. For everyone else, until next time, as we're maturing, we're going to keep learning, stirring up, and chasing after what our Creator created us to do. So have a good one, everyone. Peace.
Peace out.